Yes, stop being a meanie.
Welcome,
Night to say.
rewinders.
Welcome, rewinders.
Because
I'm like,
No one's watching.
there's not
that.
people actually
no,
here,
but
are
people
there?
who watch it on the rerun.
Oh, all those people that watch the rerun.
Just in case,
Clearly.
you never know.
I suppose.
All those people, because clearly, yes.
Clearly. Okay, guys.
Twitch,
Thumbs
where
up
are
if you are ready to start the actual show.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, I got my Diet
I suppose so.
I got more water.
Yeah.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
Stop it!
There's no cracks in my audio, is there?
No,
Not
you're
this
perfect.
time.
No.
You're good.
Okay, that's because I'm using Chrome and not Brave. Brave,
Yeah.
Very
crack,
good.
crack,
Which
crack,
is so
crack,
weird
crack.
because I don't have any issues with Brave.
I'm using Brave.
I don't know what it is. It's fine. At least
Yeah.
we figured it out, and we don't
Yeah.
have to do what we did last time because
Exactly. Okay, so we're live. Then I'm going to count us down, and when I point to Ashley, go ahead and go for it.
I'll try.
All right.
I
We are
would.
going to start in... stop it, pen. Oh, my.
There's
5,
Raul.
4...
Wait for it.
You have gone too far. You have married Fester. You have destroyed his spirit. You have taken him from us. All that I could forgive. But Debbie? Pastels? Maybe get some swatches from this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Reflux capacitor, fluxing, crew, distinctions. Scanning for Addams family values, 1993. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the Master Addams Interrupter Powers.
Ooh. Hello, kitties. I'm Polly the puppet. What shall we do today?
Review a movie, Paul. Also, for this discussion of the film, Addams Family Values, we welcome back aboard ship's engineer, Drake Tungsten. Hey, Drake.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. And in addition to Drake, we have back aboard Administration Officer Ashley Ruiz. Wait, Ashley Ruiz. That can't be right. I have
Yeah, it is.
Ashley Kronbitter in my manifest. What happened?
Sorry, I got married.
Oh, well,
Someone
congratulations.
joined the
That's awesome.
family.
Yeah, congratulations, person who strikingly has the same last name as me.
Oh,
How
what a
did that
quickie.
happen?
Yeah, it must just be a coincidence. Now that you have a quick flyby of who we are,
Oh.
Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for the Addams Family Values?
All right, Addams family. Wait, you said values?
Yes,
Okay, good.
values.
I was paying attention this time.
Oh, good,
Not
awesome.
Addams Family 2 or anything like that. All right, good.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
All right, the Addams Family Values was released in 1994 on the Super NES and Mega Drive Genesis platforms. It's rated KA and was developed by Ocean Software. It was written by Nigel Kershaw and Dom McDermott. The music was composed by Keith Tinman. In 1995, Total Magazine ranked the game at 71 on their top 100 SNES games.
Oh, yeah, you want to keep going with all that, Paul?
Yeah, all right. The budget of this game could not be found because Mad Dog 10 is up at his shenanigans
then
again.
you know what? Why don't you give us all that info for the movie, Paul? Addams
Wait,
Family Values.
The movie? Oh, hold on. I have to go back and rewatch the movie. Okay. Now he tells me. The Addams Family Values. All right, sorry. Addams Family Values, and there's no apostrophe in Addams.
Yeah, that threw me. And there's
Yeah,
no
me
the
too.
either. At the beginning.
Yeah. Anyway, it was released November 19th, 1993. It runs an hour and 34 minutes and is rated PG-13. It was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. Sorry, Barry. It was written by Charles Addams and Paul Rudnick, with lead stars being Angelica Houston, Raul Julia, and Doc Brown. And the music was composed by Mark Shaman. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I'm ready. Ashley and Drake, are you ready?
Yes,
Awesome.
sir.
And anyone here live as we're recording this, you're welcome to join in as well. Go for it, Paul.
All right. Addams Family Values. There's no the.
No, the.
That might happen a lot in this episode. We'll see. All right. Was made for about $47 million and earned about $47 million in the box office.
Well, since it usually takes more money to market a film and they didn't make that back, I'm going to go with...
Which is probably why there's not a third one. Anyway, given this and the fact that it was released theatrically in 1993, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 1993? And since you guys did so poorly on the top 150, I'll go back to the top 50 for you guys.
Oh, thanks.
I was going to say 1993. That was the year Jurassic Park came out, correct?
I think so.
Yes,
So actually,
that was number one.
Yeah, that was number one. And if it didn't get a return on its investment, I'm probably going to go like 48.
48.
Oh, nice.
All right.
48.
Same
See,
as
Dallas
Geek
agrees with
Devotions
me.
also says 48. Drake, how about you?
I'll go 49. Why not?
49.
Nice.
Price is right. I'm going to go pretty much dead center, 25. So, Paul, where did it end up?
All right. We'll let Bobo take the honorary 42 position. Maybe. It came in at 36.
Oh, okay.
So,
I think that makes me closer.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not good on the math there.
Yeah, El Capitan wins.
Yes. Because I'm a pro, and so I have
I
to
didn't figure out what number he guessed.
Something in the
I guess
20s.
25.
He guessed 25.
25.
Well,
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I
technically,
literally
if
just
you're...
forgot.
I was going to say, technically, Baba would win by always guessing the same because it's
well, Baba's
as
not
opposed
here.
to your 10.
I thought it was the closest without going over.
No, it's closest either way.
It's
Okay.
only Price is Right when it's in my favor.
Those
to
rules,
say.
those rules only count when they work in Francisco's favor. I've learned
Okay.
that in life.
Yes, indeed.
That's fine.
But regardless, thank you guys
Captain's
for
rules.
participating. Stacey also had guessed 50 and Cellcast had guessed 12, but no, I was closest. Ha ha ha. But now that thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind melt or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert, alert. Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
On November 19th, Paramount Pictures invites you to welcome back the family,
Regeneration. Above ground.
to experience their passion, celebrate their charm, and embrace their values.
Did you see that?
Addams Family Values,
We're not shy. We're contagious.
rated PG-13, starts Friday, November 19th at theaters everywhere.
But do we remember any, memories that were contagious to us that infected our brains and thereby our memories? I don't know. Let's find out in our memory mind melt synopsis of the Addams. Dang it, I did too. Of Addams Family Values. Gomez and Morticia welcome a new bundle of joy, a mini Gomez, complete with a baby mustache. Sibling rivalry ensues, which leads to the elder Addams children attending summer camp. Wednesday wrangles the awkward children to rise against the popular kids and counselors at camp, which leads to complete chaos during their musical performance of the first Thanksgiving. Sorry, Debbie, no Mercedes this year. We have to set an example. Fester's wife, Debbie, holds the family hostage with every intention of leaving them for dead to make way with the family fortune, overlooking the mini Gomez, who ends up saving them all. I mean, really, most of that sounds right, except they didn't go to summer camp because of the sibling rivalry. So these memories were obviously decepted. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for this film before rewatching it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with Ashley. What was your prediction before you rewatched this movie?
Nostalgic. It's always had a special. It's always had a special place in my heart, and I just remember certain parts of it, and I'm just like, you know what? And I rewatch it every Halloween with my family. So
really?
Clearly, it has to mean something to me that I choose to rewatch that in lieu of other films during like the spooky season.
Indeed. How about you, Drake?
My prediction was nostalgic.
Nostalgic as well. Paul, how about you?
I want to be one of the cool kids, so I'll say nostalgic too, because that's what everyone else is doing.
I'm gonna be uncool and say tragic, because this is my first time watching this film. I had never seen it before and didn't really have any interest. So that was my prediction.
Thanks to our rad listeners, you guys voted it up, and now we gotta review it
every single week, like clockwork.
By the way, this is the start of Sci-Frights 2022. Thank you to everyone that does vote at retrorewindpodcast.com/vote for this season. And next week or next time we're going to be doing Ghostbusters 2. But apparently
another sequel.
Yeah, no, it's Atlantis. Atlantis: The Lost Empire. My bad. Well, just stay tuned. Keep it watch here.
We already reviewed Stay Tuned.
Oh my gosh, Paul. Anyway, Addams Family Values. Let's get to it. Let's see what we liked most by spinning up our
Best 3.
top 3 things Addams Family. Ashley, what's one of the things you liked about this movie?
Okay, let me just start and say first off, I liked the music. What was one thing I didn't like about the first one is that they didn't really incorporate the Addams Family theme too much in the original movie, but there were motifs of this throughout the entire film, and I really, really enjoyed that. From the beginning to Lurch playing the piano to the tango scene where it was just a fun kind of salsa-y version of the Addams Family theme. So they made up for that in my book, and that was one thing that I really enjoyed.
Nice. Very cool. Drake, is there anything that you felt was... So we're having Ashley and Drake back both from the previous Addams Family review, which you can check out at...
our podcatcher. Wherever you listen to podcasts.
I wanted to throw it out. Hold on.
All right. Just throw it out.
Just give me a second. Oh my gosh. You can just check it out easily by going to retrorewindpodcast.com/235. Anyway, was there anything that you thought was missing from the first Addams Family that was back here, or is there just something completely different that you liked?
Well, I agree with the music part of having the original song sort of incorporated in there. I thought that was great. I'm just gonna say generally, I'm gonna say the one-liners.
Yeah.
The one-liners were just all over the place. It was great.
I'll play the victim all your life.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, guys. So the one-liners, so the comedy element is something you really enjoyed.
Yes.
Paul, was the comedic part something you really enjoyed, or was it something else? And you know what? Actually, I had to say something here. Because my likes are there were some
dislikes.
No, some of them I'm stretching a little bit. I mean, my classic maker is legit, but
stop making excuses. Just
I was gonna say they're not shallow like the graves in the Addams Family graveyard, are they?
Bingo.
Maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't say they are, but regardless, I don't know why I felt I needed to preface my likes, just because I want to prevent blowback. But Paul, now let's double back to you. What's something you did like about Addams Family?
This is not typically a like for me, but the baby in this, the little
the girl,
Pubert,
the twin girls,
the twin girls that played Pubert.
Or were they? I didn't know that.
They were girls. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, what I really appreciated about this is that, the baby was cute. That's fine. But there were so many good takes of the baby looking cute, which is apparently really hard to do. So I enjoyed like how many good shots of the baby there were, which I didn't expect.
It was really surprising to me that they were able to capture a baby just sliding down a banister and being so happy-go-lucky all the
Right.
way during it. Wow, how'd
Yeah.
you do that?
Baby
I don't
was
know.
so happy. Like,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right, Paul. Like, honestly, I hope that those twins went on to continue acting. If they didn't, I'll be sad. I didn't IMDb them
think
or
they
anything
did.
like that. But oh my gosh, like it was so fun.
They
to
did a good
watch.
job. You know, it's
Yeah.
sad when they peak a little early, but hey, when
Yeah.
they did, they did.
The
High note,
point
right?
of their lives. Yeah. Wow.
AKA the one performance of their lifetime.
Yeah, that's Caitlin and Kristen Hooper, by the way. Shout out
Yeah.
to them.
And did they go on, Paul? Did you know?
They were both in Home Improvement 5 years later, an episode of that, and that's about it.
Oh, okay. Wah, 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 wah. But no, that's fine. I'm sure hopefully they're enjoying life doing something else.
Yeah.
Something I enjoyed about this movie was I enjoyed the little mini romance between Wednesday and David Krumholtz's character. I forget his name.
Yeah,
I
his
just
name
thought
is
that
10
was-
Things I Hate About the Santa Claus.
Because he
just
plays
thought-
Bernard as he grows up. Aw.
Yeah,
I-
cute.
and he was in
yes.
10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
me
it,
too.
guys.
All right.
Michael in 10 Things I
Hey,
Hate About You.
hey.
No, but they did make a cute couple. I enjoyed seeing
They
them.
were adorable. What did you, Francisco? Can I ask you a question about their little budding romance?
It sounds like you just did.
Let's play by the numbers here. See, because he's in numbers too. Haha. Yes. Go ahead.
Good callback. Good. Good.
Thank you. What was your question, Ashley?
I was going to ask, what did you think of him kind of like impersonating Gomez and at the end of the film where there was.
That's
Was that
actually the part
jarring
I
for you?
Disliked
You didn't-
that's the part I disliked the most about. I would rather him just be himself.
I know, but I thought it was
but-
adorable. I thought it was adorable.
What if
Yes.
Wednesday has daddy issues? Then it's
Oh.
like closer there, you know?
Ooh.
I don't think that's. I'm totally about him dressing up. I just thought the fake mustache was a little much.
Yeah,
that was the
it
main
was a little
thing for me.
cheesy.
Well, that's also with the baby, but you know.
Yes,
that's what-
also that.
But the baby pulled it off a little bit better than he did.
Oh wow!
I will say.
More
I'm
believable
going
the
to agree with
baby
you
than
there.
him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the baby pulled it off. Yeah.
But I thought it was innocent. It was sweet. How it made sense. It didn't seem like totally out of left field or anything. I just liked how their moments together. I thought they acted well together as well. Let's go back to Drake. What's something else you enjoyed about the Addams Family Values?
There was a baby with a mustache.
What? There was a baby with a mustache.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
And then it got sick and it got curly blonde hair.
Okay, so that was the same baby. I was a little confused. As like, did they get another baby? I just legitimately
No,
confused.
same
about that.
baby, but somehow the entire nursery changed with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how does
Yeah.
that happen?
That was kind of weird.
Did someone do that, or just the baby have
Like
that
all its
power?
books turned into like Cat in the Hat and like
Yeah.
good stuff rather.
Yeah,
Seems like it
Yeah,
was
and
like a curse that manifested in the nursery
because
that
Vesper
spread from the
wasn't there or
baby. Yeah.
something?
Yeah,
Oh,
mhm.
okay.
And then even like the cradle was like all white and yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, that
But the
part
curly
I could,
blonde hair, that was cute.
I could
That
use
was-
more explaining of that, but yes, the baby was definitely cute. Absolutely.
Still very happy, even as a blonde.
Yes.
What's
No.
what's something else that made you happy about this film, Ashley?
Well, something that made me happy about this film was a more compelling villain than the first film in the
Oh.
character of Debbie. I mean, because she actually had a backstory. She was just a
Yes.
gold digger, and I liked that they made her be a Black Widow. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, and it was kind of reminiscent of the first because one of the biggest central plots is about Fester.
Mhm.
And the first time the
Okay.
villain was using him to get the family fortune, and
Mhm.
same thing. The villain is using him to get the family
Mhm.
fortune, just in a different way. Instead of fraud, she has a fraudulent marriage. So it's just kind of
It's
fun
the same
and-
movie.
Oh my gosh!
Mhm.
and she was just interesting, especially when she had gotten everyone rounded up at the end, and she's going through the slideshow, and it's just absolutely ridiculous that she would have slides of all of her
Yes.
husbands dying right
Right.
before, that she would just conveniently have these photos.
Mhm.
And to me,
So
it's
silly.
so ridiculous. It just adds to her amusement that I get from her. It's just like,
Absolutely.
and Joan Cusack's just like, sorry, Debbie, no Mercedes, this year. We have to set an example. Just her delivery throughout that scene, she's just so compelling, and how all the scenes that she's in, she's just over the top, and she just brings so much life to this ridiculous character.
Yeah,
I love it. She's like, I'm gonna be a widow.
And you know what I got? Malibu Barbie.
And it was just so good. I really enjoyed her much more than the villain of the first film.
Okay, I could see that. I think there was a lot of overlap.
Yeah,
and I do have an issue with not so much Debbie per se, but
who's Debbie per se?
Debbie, per se.
But things that Debbie might have done.
Nah,
how she went about doing it.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, I totally agree. I went back and forth with Joan Cusack as the villain. Like she's almost too despicable that I wanted to put her as a dislike, but she did such a good job that I really can't put this as a dislike. No, you're supposed to be this.
Perfectly despicable.
Yeah.
But she was despicable in a charming way. And I think you really disliked her, but at the same time, it's just she embraces what she is.
Yeah.
And she just did such a good job. You're like, dang it, I want to hate her, but I can't.
Oh, I can.
Okay, well, what do you hate about this, Paul?
Going back to what D. Tungsten said is basically the humor. I like the macabre. It follows the first movie, a lot of the dark humor, the baby has my father's eyes, and Morticia says, Gomez, take those out of his mouth. It's like those kind of play on things you don't expect it, but it's like, oh, that's clever.
Okay. So the jokes, the one-liners.
Yeah, the clever
humor,
jokes.
The cleverness. Yes, absolutely. So you might even say you're thankful for those, that they continued over from the first movie and from the show.
Yes, me and my big fat turkey.
I am thankful for... That was a manufactured segue, in case you didn't realize.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the Thanksgiving play. I thought that was just fun how Wednesday and what's her brother's name?
Pugsley.
Pugsley.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking Winslow. Pugsley and David Krumholtz, how they took over. And
his name was Joel Glicker, by the way.
Joel Glicker. Thank you. How they sort of got all the non-blonde kids together, and just fought against them.
Which is kind of weird because they're all privileged kids, you know.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why there's that type of dichotomy, but regardless, I thought that was fun how they totally flipped the script on mainly the counselors. That was the thing that was fun. But now let's talk about the things we're most thankful for, guys. Our classic makers for Addams Family Values. I'm going to start with Paul this time, actually.
My favorite thing is when rewatching this, because it's been a while, is all the supporting characters, not all, but most of them had recognizable faces. Like, oh, this person, like we mentioned David, and then Nathan Lane as the cop.
Yes,
and then there's the sailor in the bar is played by Monk, or what, I forget his name.
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub, yes.
So even the camp counselors and there's all these side little people, not little people, but little roles that were played by, now watching it oh, this person, oh, that person. So that was fun.
Great cameos.
That was fun.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Apparently, what's Fraser's brother's name in Fraser?
Yes, David Hyde Pierce.
David Hyde
was
Pierce
the doctor
was
in
the
there.
doctor,
Yeah.
I
You didn't recognize him?
No, I totally missed that. Yeah,
oh, wow.
I did
He's
not
at the
notice.
beginning there. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So you really enjoyed all the little cameos.
Yes.
Ashley, what's the thing you love the most about Addams Family Values?
Okay, the thing I love the most about the Addams Family Values was actually the Addams family themselves and just the family dynamic that they had. Not all of them have healthy relationships with each other, but I have always appreciated how deeply Gomez cares for his brother and for his wife and for his children, and just how how his world gets turned upside down when Fester leaves. When you lose a member of that family, everything just, the rug gets pulled out from everyone. And the fact that the baby, the youngest member of the family, goes through that transition from being a mini Gomez to being this like blonde ray of sunshine because they've lost part of their family. Their family is no longer complete. It just shows how much they care for one another. I also can think of how Wednesday was trying to warn her Uncle Fester about Debbie, and they did everything in their power, including sabotaging the play to get away, and then try to save him. And they even go to Fester's house, Chez Debbie, once they're married and he's been held up from their family. They definitely care for one another, and it's just endearing to see the dynamics that they have throughout this film.
Yeah, I can totally see that. For my classic maker, I'm actually going to take it even a more focused view and say that I really enjoyed Wednesday, Christina Ricci as Wednesday. I loved all her, I forget who of you said the one-liners and the humor, but her deadpanness and just her responses to pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Almost always had me laughing. I just really enjoyed her character and how she was written. So that was definitely my favorite part.
I will add that she did a great job acting wise. Also a bonus was Raul Julia. I think his acting in this was a little bit better than also Wednesdays was a little better than the previous one.
Oh yeah, totally.
But Raul Julia, he was in like extreme circumstances. I mean, like a little bit over the top, but he played it sincerely and he played it well. And I was impressed by that.
Yeah, the scene at the police precinct where he's like, "My brother," and he's just like, "And she drives a Buick." And then when he's on the bed later and he's singing "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot," like you can tell this man is devastated. He just plays it so well.
It made me miss, like, I want to see him in more dramatic roles, not just like in Street Fighter. You know what I mean?
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
He was such a good actor that we lost a little too soon.
Absolutely. Have you ever gone back to watch any of his past work, Paul? Like he's making.
I saw Addams Family, the first one.
Well, I meant he's been making movies since like the 50s and 60s. Any of the previous movies?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. If you want to see him in more, there's more to choose from.
Hey, and it's a good thing we have a. Yeah.
Like
I think that came after this.
I think that's his last film.
Yeah. It's a good thing we have a time machine. We can go back.
Yeah.
Oh my
I haven't seen that.
Me neither.
He was in The Rookie?
Wait, the one with... That was about to say, I don't think that's the baseball movie.
No, this is a Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what? I don't remember that at all. Anyway, that leaves Drake. What did you love most about The Rookie? I mean, Addams Family Values.
I don't know. I can't do it. When she does that smile. That's my
Wednesday with the creepy smile.
Yes.
With the creepy smile,
Yes, so creepy.
Yeah.
I think is it because she's not smiling with her eyes, it's mainly just her mouth, and that usually makes for a creepy smile, but
that's it.
It was
I mean,
definitely...
it's the eyes do not have a maniacal look in them.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Don't trust people who smile like that.
So you're saying, Drake, that my classic maker and your classic maker was pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so great minds think alike. Good.
Wednesday.
Well, great might be.
Paul, who's asking you anyway?
Speculation there.
Yes. Oh, you know what? I had one more great thing. I totally forgot about, guys. Right. Yeah. The Cellcast. The Cellcast, hosted by Jacob and Drew, review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes, whether it is traditional hand-drawn animated movies, claymation shorts, or 3D CGI series. Check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to the Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, Cell is spelled C-E-L. And that's at thecellcast.podbean.com.
That's great, Francisco. But what does that have to do with Addams Family Values?
Well, they've actually covered the animated Addams Family over on the Cellcast. I know that's a newer series of movies, or a newer movie, but they have covered it. So that's the link, the missing link, if you will.
Oh.
They did have older cartoons too.
Yeah, they did.
Had an older cartoon of this?
Didn't they meet
Yes.
Scooby-Doo at
I was
one
about
point?
to say that. Yeah, they met Scooby-Doo and when
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wednesday was missing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
This
the
is
original
stuff I didn't
Addams
know.
Family TV shows was on in the 60s.
Oh, well.
That's-
So there's been so many iterations of it.
Yeah.
But
You know what?
all
That's
those
an-
other Addams things aside, what does that have to do with Addams Family Values, though?
I said they've reviewed Addams Family. We're reviewing Addams Family. That's the connection. But you guys are bringing all this other trivia into the mix. So why don't we just go to trivia on Addams
All right.
Family
We like
Values?
trivia.
Yeah.
We
like
Okay. Well, here you go, guys. Did you all realize that while being brainwashed at camp, one of the films that Wednesday and Pugsley are made to watch is the musical Annie,
Yes, which you haven't
1982.
seen. My goodness. Go ahead.
directed by Angelica Houston's father, John Huston.
Oh.
And that
good.
film also featured Tim Curry, who played
Yes.
Gomez Addams in Addams Family Reunion. From
Oh, see, now
1998.
there are connections there.
Yeah,
Yes.
There's another connection. But
That's why
Addams
it's
Family
trivia, guys.
But I got another connection for you. Did you know that one of the only returning cast members from these two series of movies to return to Addams Family Reunion was the actor who played Lurch?
Nice.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
It's hard
Everyone
to
else
replace
was
him.
recast?
He is very hard to replace.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Well, here's my question to you guys, though.
Okay.
What film would someone use to brainwash or torture you? So one that you would hate to watch over and over and over again. I mean, it may be good for one time, but you could not stand to watch it over and over again, or you think it would brainwash you to do something. So what film would that be? Let's start with Paul.
Basically any horror movie or
yeah.
that has gore in it.
Uh-huh.
No, that would just be no.
So like An Inconvenient Truth, because it has
Sure.
Al Gore in it.
It's gory, huh?
Oh, gory indeed.
Okay, so movies with gore. All right.
Maybe it comes with a big bill.
Oh my God. That's for all the people that watch the stream. I bet you get that one. Ashley, how about you?
I don't really have to think about this. Probably either one of the Frozen films, just because.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, how I want to let go of both of those movies and never see them ever again. And Disney will never let it go. So that would be a perfect way to traumatize me into doing whatever they want me to.
I could see that. And how about you, Drake?
I think a lot of the movies they had in there would have worked for me.
Oh, I like those movies.
Oh,
Too
He's
bad.
so
Well,
cute.
I liked Sound of Music. Okay.
Oh yeah,
uh,
where the Nazis take over at the end. It's a great movie.
wow.
So it's a fantastic family film
Yeah.
because there's a family. Obviously.
So you would have liked those ones. So what?
got
wouldn't
Angela
you have liked?
Cartwright in it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So wait, you're saying they would have used those movies to brainwash or torture you?
Except
or they-
that one, like Annie could. Yeah,
Okay.
and I
gotcha.
got a kick out of the Disney stuff too. For
Yes, absolutely. Well, then that, and then in chat, Cellcast says Barney's Great Adventure. Is that like Barney the dinosaur?
Yes.
Yes.
And then Babo says Garbage Pail.
Garbage
Kids.
Pail Kids.
And then Paladin Pirate says it could be gory as in Edward Gorey. I don't know who that is. But I mean, ha ha ha.
I've
Yes.
seen Garbage Pail Kids twice.
Well played.
Ew.
I've
Yeah.
never seen
Okay.
it, and I hope
I'm
I never
sorry.
do.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, speaking of not bad things, there's one more section before. There's something else I forgot, guys.
Yeah.
The trivia not the trivia. Okay, Edna mode it. Dang it! I thought I could recover my crash.
You were
Good
doing so
effort.
good until
Good
you
effort.
were.
Wow.
until you stepped on my line.
Exactly. That was the problem. I'd be like,
I wasn't getting there fast enough. Sorry about
oh
that.
my gosh. Okay.
All right, edited in here.
Yes.
Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And now that we've had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our rad rewinders, had about Addams Family Values.
Alrighty. David Gardner says, a Buick!
Celeste Mora says, are they made from real Girl Scouts? Classic line, but wrong movie.
Wrong movie.
That was the
So
previous
close.
one.
So
but
close.
Still funny.
Yes. And then the Dapper Man says, it's okay. Well, with that very middling review, maybe there's lots of other things that make this a very middling movie. So let's spin up the things we didn't like about Addams Family Values.
Worst 3.
The worst 3 things. And let's start with Drake this time.
The part, I guess I'd have to say, just some of the humor was a little bit
Dark?
dark. That's it.
Macabre.
Yes, which normally I like, but it
A little
puts
too
me
dark.
into that temptation. Like, I don't want to necessarily enjoy things that are that dark. You know what I mean? I don't like. You know what I mean?
Okay, yes. I get you. I got you. Yes.
But you know, at the age I was when I saw the movie, it was like perfect. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there a particular joke that you remember being like, I don't like that I
too
like
far.
this? Or too far, sure.
Yeah, I mean there was some of the sex stuff was a little over the top, you know.
There was quite a number of them, like 3 or 4 times that I was like,
Yeah,
"Ugh."
yeah.
Even in the very early opening when they talk about where babies come from, and
Yeah.
Wednesday just blatantly says these.
Yeah.
I think she says 3 words, and just the
Yeah.
way she says it, yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's
it's matter of
see.
factual, but it's a little dark for
All
her
right.
to just say.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. For whatever reason, it seemed just normal to me, I guess.
Well, it
No,
did, it
Francisco,
did to
it's
me
too
when I
dark.
first saw it.
This was the
I
first
thought
time
that
you
line
saw
was
it?
great.
Oh,
No,
when
when
it
I
was great the
first
first
saw
time you
it,
saw it.
like when it first came out.
Yes,
You know,
gotcha.
over 15 years ago.
So you've
it was-
changed. Your sensibilities have changed since then. That's fine.
A little bit, yeah. And
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
now
that
it's
makes
just
sense.
like, you know, but yeah, there was a little bit that obviously, you know, I'm a parent now, so seeing the baby in danger is
Oh yeah.
very
Baby
different
was
than
never
when
in danger. He was baby Kyle L. I mean, how else do you explain?
well, yes, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
those
Yes,
it's those
absolutely.
you see it and you know.
Yeah, that was a little dicey for me, like just seeing this baby like go all around at the end and just like, what is happening?
I
How are
wonder
you
how
so
many
happy?
kids they've had that Pugsley and Wednesday killed off before this one survived.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you know what? I bet you at least one, because at the end of Addams Family, you see Morticia knitting something that looks like it's for an octopus child. And we don't see an octopus child here.
Well, that was
So
for
they probably
like a
killed that.
cousin, maybe in a different, but maybe
No,
not.
it's
Yeah.
very implied that they're having a baby.
Oh, interesting.
So
Hmm.
anyway, so they probably killed that one.
Someone was paying
Anyway,
attention.
something. Let's go to Ashley. What's something you didn't like about Addams Family Values?
I actually did not like the Camp Chippewa. I did not like it at all. I felt like it was just this random place and a plot contrivance to just send the Addams children to where they don't fit in and they have to
out of
be
water.
outcasts.
Yeah.
And I don't care for the camp itself and the people who are at the camp.
Wow.
All the time that I'm watching it, I'm wondering, okay, how do this husband and wife run this entire camp with all these kids? There's no counselors. There's no help to speak of.
There are actually counselors. In one of
Yes.
the shots at the Thanksgiving thing, you see
Yeah.
other counselors.
And,
Okay,
and when
I was
because-
wondering about
in-
that, but yeah.
in the search party, when they try to sneak out and they like catch them in the dark, there's some adults with them. And,
Okay, because how easily I forget that, because most of the time they're so hyper focused
Yes,
on the
absolutely.
two owners of the camp that you're like, they're always here. are they that involved with their campers? I'm like,
Yes.
clearly they got nothing else going on. But I did not like the camp environment at all.
Yeah,
Well, you're not supposed to like those people.
I know you're not supposed to like them, but they
What?
definitely made me
But
feel
they
like
seemed fun to me.
no, and just the way that the camp owners treated Wednesday and like the other, they call them outcasts, and they refer to them as like, they're like, the way that they talk to the kids, even if they're not blonde and they're still privileged, like all of the campers are privileged, but because they're not in the right like attitude and they don't do exactly what they're told or kiss their behinds, they just want like almost nothing to do with the kids. And you even think of like some of the lines that they say, and what are we gonna do? We wish they would just die, and their kids are like, yeah, and she's like, no,
yeah, that was so. That's one of those that I'm like, is that funny? Because that seems just horrible.
It's not funny, and it makes you dislike them even more. And it's just like, okay, you're really darn unlikable. Good job on you, writers.
Yeah,
it made me laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
Oh, here we go. This is what one of your dislikes.
Yeah.
It was the 90s. You had to be there.
Oh my gosh.
I was.
So
yeah,
actually,
so
it
was
sounds
I.
like
Yeah.
you
Me
would
too.
prefer to go to Camp Anawana.
It's-
from Salute Your Shorts. Cricket. Let's go on to Paul.
They didn't hold you in their hearts. Sorry, Francisco.
All right, fine.
I
Paul,
don't know
your
if
turn.
this if this was my I got that song reference, but I don't know if this was my copy, but some of the coloring and some of the scenes seemed a little off. Like in the nighttime at the camp, and after that, it's like, does it look like some of the kids or people had orange lipstick?
So, Ashley and me were actually watching your copy, Paul, and I was wondering about that.
This was the version I had.
Yeah, did the coloring seem off?
I didn't notice, but I don't know.
I got to get a new copy.
I usually
then.
do. I usually do
Paul,
notice
geez.
those things, but I didn't notice this time.
So it's a
Okay.
technical thing. Like, all right.
Yeah.
I
All
might
right,
not
so
have been paying
if
attention.
not everybody's copies like that, then that's a throwaway one. Next.
Okay. Next, something I didn't like about Addams Family Values was, and this is a technical thing that wouldn't have anything to do with your color correction or anything on your TVs. And I do realize this was an intentional thing that the filmmakers did. But I could not stand the spotlight on Angelica Houston's eyes. Get it off!
That was like that in the first movie.
It was
too.
like that. In the
It
first
wasn't.
one.
It wasn't as I realized it was
Noticeable.
in the first one. I don't think it was all the time in the first one, or it wasn't
It
as
wasn't.
much in the first one. But it drove me crazy so much. I'm like, just stop,
Well,
please.
It's
supposed to
because
make her
it
look
was
spooky.
It's because I think it was all the time on our eyes when they were in the house, which they were in the house more, I think, in this one than they were in the other one. I think that's what it is.
Maybe.
But yes,
That
I
could
noticed
be.
it. I thought it was neat because I would just like I guess it took me out of the movie, so it wasn't a good thing. But I was just like, I wonder how they did that. You know, like I was just curious about the technicalities how they did it. Not
So
you know.
time out. We're getting some popping on your end.
Are you
Tungsten.
using Chrome?
No,
Yeah, I
he's
told
using
you I was.
Brave. He's using Brave,
Or Brave,
which is
I mean,
what
yeah.
Ashley used to be. Can you
I can-
switch over to Chrome, D-Tungsten? I don't know why it's doing this now, not the whole time, but
Oh yes, the Kirk light. That's a good way to describe it. Sometimes in the original
Yes.
Star Trek,
Kirk,
Yeah.
it would. What?
Thank you.
I can.
While he's doing that, didn't we
Yeah.
cover something else, Francisco, where it's like, oh, why is it always like right? Maybe it was like Star Trek, the like
Wrath of Khan or Voyage
no,
Home?
what didn't we watch an episode before that to review that? Maybe it was that.
Maybe. Before Wrath of Khan, we watched the one that sort of the prequel episode.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. Was that the was that the
Spacey,
one
thank
where
you.
you're like, why is the light
I
like in
think
his
so.
eyes?
Probably, yeah.
That sounds like something he would say.
Yeah, Spacey. There.
I was right. Woohoo!
Good job.
Thank you,
good job.
Ricardo Montalban. May you rest in peace as well.
Mhm.
Are you trying to figure out D-Tungsten?
Well, I'm just trying to see if I can change the gain on it. Just change it down a little bit.
Well, but it
That
just
wouldn't
started and it's still doing it. So, I mean, you can try that.
There, how's that? Is that better?
No.
Okay.
Kick 'em
I'll change
out.
the browser.
Okay. The link should work just the same.
Yeah.
Get out!
See you in a moment. Oh my gosh.
After these messages, he'll be right back.
Exactly.
Is Chrome? I do have Chrome installed, right?
Oh no.
Oh,
Well,
no.
Edge, whatever you want,
Edge might
Oh,
be fine. Yeah, I don't know.
whatever
I feel like
works.
Bobo used Edge.
One more oh no, and the Kool-Aid
Firefox.
guy is gonna show up.
I got Firefox. I'll do Firefox. Is that okay?
Try it. Sure.
Netscape.
Netscape Navigator.
I know.
Aw.
Yes.
Won't have
Rip!
it installed. I don't know if it'll run on this system.
Probably not.
So how are you, Cellcast? Doing well.
Bless
Hope
you.
you're not. I hope
Thank
Francisco's not contagious through these interwebs. Wouldn't that be
Oh.
I
horrible?
don't have Chrome on here.
Just as long as he doesn't bring any germs in 2 weeks.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, nice. How many AOL discs do you have, Bobo, just to be mailing them to people? Those things are worth gold, man.
Can you send me a net zero disc instead, Bobo?
Yeah.
I remember Net Zero, man.
Oh, try Opera. Yeah. Go for Opera.
I've seriously thought about getting an AOL account just for people to say AOL.
AOL. What?
How long
Because they
have
are
You've
still
got
around. Right?
mail.
Oh yeah. People,
Yeah.
but I everything's right there in my one. It's
Yeah.
been there for years, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to change.
All right.
So it says, for some reason, I thought that you were trying to say my name on TV. Nope. You weren't. I don't know what I was saying that sounded like that.
Oh, there goes
Wow.
D Tungsten.
Wow.
Here he goes.
Da, 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 da.
Oh,
Is he
1994. DT.
Wait, hang on. There, try that.
Touchdown.
I got a crooked thing to turn on the camera. All right, is that it?
Nah. Now we have a different problem.
Right?
Oh,
Well, hold
Well,
on.
just talk for a bit. Talk for a
okay.
bit.
Yeah, I can talk about the weather, and it was a very nice day today. And
I think it's fine, Paul. I think
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
gain bandwidth,
Yeah,
trying to
adjusting.
get catch up. But okay.
Bandwidth.
Not-
Uh-oh, get him out.
I was gonna say. Oh my
Okay, you're
gosh! Not
good,
everybody has
Tungsten.
1,000 up like you do, Francisco.
yeah,
or
my
whatever
connection's a
it-
little-
Fine.
Whatever
but
it
yes.
is.
Yeah.
I think it's 1,000.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's that plan, but they don't ever give you the
Oh.
full range all the time.
Still better than I got
Indeed.
for now.
Look, I'm Dick.
You're what?
I spelled my name wrong.
Dick. I think you should be able to edit it.
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah, if
don't
you
know
go
where,
to
though.
the
You're
Okay,
still D
so-
Tungsten.
settings.
Yeah,
okay,
settings.
it's over in
Yeah.
settings. There's a set of 3 dots, and you can go edit name.
Moles, really, Bobo?
I should
Yes.
call you Moles.
Moles, yes.
All right, so we have Moles down here, and then we have
Wow.
Roy over here.
I'm not Roy.
Aw, my angry man.
Oh, a little more, and you can get my pink. I don't know why. Oh, now I'm not pink. All right.
I was gonna say if you want him to not, if you want to change his demeanor, you can put on that beefcake filter again.
No,
He'll just laugh.
don't do it. Don't.
He'll just laugh for like 20 minutes.
I don't think I'll have the same effect anymore. I think that's out of my system now.
No, Francisco. When you watched the replay of that, you still laughed at yourself
I
laughing
did,
at his
but I
beefcake.
wasn't-
So
He was laughing
so
at that
into it.
rather than the.
who knows? He
No, I
laughs
think
at
I was laughing
lots
at
of
me
things.
laughing, but
Well, that laugh was
You
something.
know, you gotta take it.
yeah,
in
exactly.
I
stride.
don't know.
See,
I can't find
same
it.
good.
I'll be Dick.
You inoculated me. I'm good.
Okay.
You take-
Yeah, maybe it's pronounced Doc. Hey.
Doc Hay,
Doc
yes.
Hay,
I'm-
yes.
I'm-
Yeah,
Doc,
thank you,
yeah.
thank you, Drew, for
Why
that.
is the camera not working now?
Doc. Hey.
Paul.
There. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Oh my.
I don't know.
So
I can't find the
yes,
setting.
okay.
Oh wait.
It's up in the top left
Found
corner.
it. I found it. Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. You can be Drake instead
Oh,
of
she
Doc.
says-
Hey.
Dude, Tungsten
There.
looks interesting. This. Oh, now it's Drake.
Yes.
I really hope they don't have new flavors of those evil beings that shall not be named.
Drake Noir.
Drake
Yes.
Noir. Wow. Okay, let's continue on, guys. I
Sorry.
think, so I think Drake, you are giving your dislike. So
Edna mode.
yes,
Sorry,
Edna,
just in
thank you,
case.
Paul. Can you redo your dislike?
What was my dislike? I don't even remember now. Oh yes,
Was
it
it
got
the
a little bit. It was a little bit dark.
No,
And
I think that was your first one, wasn't it?
yeah. Oh, I have another one.
Yeah, this would be your. Oh, maybe it's not. Paul, what was yours?
The
That
coloring.
was.
It was a bit dark.
Yeah. I think it was.
That was
I
my
think it
first
was.
one.
I think it was yours, Francisco.
Oh, yeah,
You were the last one to go.
The light on Angelica Houston. Yeah, I said
Yes.
that.
Yeah, you said that.
Yes.
Maybe everybody did it and we were in the next round.
Yes,
Yeah, I think that's
you
what
did
it
go
was.
through the first cycle, and then it
Yeah.
started popping, and then you went into the
Oh
extended,
yeah. So this
never-ending Edna.
Oh my gosh. This
was my
we are
fault.
now back at Drake's second dislike. That's what it was.
Second dislike.
So second dislike.
Is there anything else I disliked about the movie?
I hope so. You got 2 more to go.
Disliked. I'll tell you what. Here's a bonus one. You can steal from
Yeah.
me. That you
Okay.
What's with Christopher Lloyd always hooking up with women 3 times his younger self in the 90s?
Who else
That's
did he
what I
hook up
want to know.
with?
All right, in this movie, and then in Back to the Future, he's like 90 years old, hooking up with Claire.
Mary Steenburgen is that much
Yes.
younger than him? Oh, I didn't.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it gives
I
the
feel like they're the
appearance as
same
such.
Well,
age.
yeah, but he was.
No, they're not the
She
same
was actually
age.
older than. She was actually older than him though, because the character was from the 1800s.
Oh, that's true.
Oh my god.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mary Steenburgen was born in 1953. Christopher Lloyd.
I'm saying the looks. He's
I
a
don't care.
shaggy
No, no,
old
no, 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 no,
man
no.
Isn't
with
he
a
like
bald
83
cap
or
in
something?
this movie. I like Christopher
Lloyd.
Lloyd as an actor. He's great, but it's just like when I
You know,
saw
we're
this,
not,
I'm like,
we're not,
really?
We're not going to talk
Again?
about this. We're not going to talk about this. We're going to move on.
Thanks for proving my point, Francis.
Yeah,
Anyway,
whatever.
I don't know, Drake, if you want to take that or not, but
Christopher Lloyd
just
was
trying to
born
help
in
you out.
1938.
That's 1838.
Not 18. No, it's 1938. Wow.
That's in the midst of
Wow,
the
he's
depression.
200 years old almost. Okay.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, do you want to take that one for yours?
No,
He is great, Star Fox.
I can't think of anything right now.
That's fine. You know what? We'll go on to Paul. What's something else you didn't like?
I felt the pacing of this was just a bit off. It went on a little too long. Okay, I understand the plot here. She's gonna try to marry him and kill him, and then she married him. This movie's almost over. And I pause and it's only halfway over. I'm like, my goodness, this movie's long. Now it did get interesting.
Yes.
It's not working out. So it got interesting there. But it just felt a little too. It felt like a 2.5 hour movie to me. But that's me. I
okay.
thought the pacing was just not as punctual as it could be.
I'd say it almost felt, and we were talking about this with Quigley Down Under, that felt more episodic than it did a story with a good arc that was clear with the climax, and then
right.
Yeah,
it felt like little, episodic and little climaxes or little arcs or whatever that just it made it feel longer.
Exactly.
And overall,
Will Wednesday and what's your brother's name? Pugsley. Will Wednesday and Pugsley be brainwashed? Find out next week. Will Fester go back to his family? Find out next week.
Nope. Find out the next week. Is he there? Nope. Find out the next week. Is he there? No. Get on with it.
Anyway, I guess that's appropriate given this was a TV show to begin with, but I don't think that's what they're going for.
That's
I can
not
see
what
what
the-
you're
yeah.
saying, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else I didn't like was this is so minute, but it's just annoying to me. And I feel like I had similar problems for the first Addams Family. How is it that Gomez arm wrestles Thing and
Yes.
Thing has any leverage? It should be so easy. How is he? I don't get it.
There's a force. It's the same way how he can apply the brakes and the gas pedal and steer like all at the same time. It's Addams magic.
Suspension of reality, just suspension of disbelief, because at least your dislikes are consistent from film to film.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, the light's always here, and the thing could just do whatever. Okay, all right.
Yeah, like how can a hand jump that high to open the door way up there?
Also,
how can he roller skate and use it like a skateboard?
Also, these are excellent points. Excellent points.
Although that was really fun to watch.
I thought that was really cool, actually.
Yeah, it is well done for sure. Yeah. For sure.
I thought the effects looked better for the thing than the first movie.
I don't remember them looking bad in the first one, but
but it looked
better
good
in this one. Yeah.
It didn't look like somebody was just like a hand there with it green screened right off at the wrist.
Yes. Ashley, what do you wish was green screened out of this movie?
Okay, you can't green screen this out, but it's something that's inconsistent, and it made me scratch my head. Okay, so at the climax of the film, after Debbie has held the entire family hostage and she's getting ready to pull down the lever and electrocute her beloved family to death, baby Hubert comes down and he takes the line and he puts it together. So he sends the electrical current back and reversed to Debbie. Yes. Okay, now as Debbie is holding the lever, she is getting electrocuted and she's gradually being turned to ash. Okay, she's getting so electrocuted that she's turning to ash. Okay, she's a pile of ash. And then the things that you see that survived her electrocution were her pair of heels and her Amexes. Okay. But she's a big old pile of ash. Then you fast forward to the baby's birthday. This is several months later. And Wednesday and her beau Joel are in the Addams family graveyard. And he's replying to Debbie like, "We are so sorry." But then her hand comes out and grabs him. She was ash. She doesn't have a physical form. How dare you overlook that, Phil?
That is so good. Yes.
When I first saw this in the theater, I thought that was Thing coming up from there as a practical joke.
Right.
But in the second watching that I just saw, or the third, this is my second or third, it's been a while, that hand has fingernail polish on it like a woman's hand.
And it's also, I feel like it goes out quite a bit. Like,
I was about to say, it's a couple inches longer. Further, it's not quite the elbow. So maybe she
was a pile of ash. She's not going to, ash to ashes, dust to dust. She's not going to regain a corporeal form.
No. But you know what? In that instant, when it jumps up and grabs you, you're not going to be thinking that. So as a practical joke, it makes sense.
Yes,
and that's what I thought it was.
Wednesday's behind it somehow. Yeah, she planned it to scare him. I thought that was the joke. It would have been a better joke if it was Thing. You know.
Yeah. And I could have gotten behind that, but there was more to that physical form than Thing ever was. Yeah. And the fact that it was Debbie's grave, and I'm like, nah. If you knew what happened to her, I'm sorry, suspension of disbelief or not, I'm like, if you're a pile of ash, you are not coming back.
Well, when Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross, some of the dead people came back to life, and they had been dead and decomposing in a while, and that somehow came back. So it is, all things are possible with God.
We're not just spiritual speculation yet,
We're not disputing that, Paul, and the dry bones will come to life and all those things that happen. But she was incinerated. And she is not one with Jesus. She was a bad lady, so she wasn't coming back.
Well,
you don't know if she confessed her sins right there as she was being electrocuted.
As she was getting electrocuted, Lord, forgive me for all of my sins.
She realized it's all backfiring.
Wow. Well, that leaves our classic makers. What really backfired about this?
You mean
our tragic makers? What really backfired about this movie? So I blew that joke with my misspeak. But let's begin with. I'm going to start with me because this sort of goes off of something that Ashley was saying about, I think some of you didn't like, but really was magnified for me. But I don't like that.
Magnified your butt?
Magnified for me.
But
what did I magnify?
Magnified
Watched
is
it
I'm
together.
magnifying.
But there was no magnifying glass. How can you be magnified?
it burns through
It's
the
a
magnifying.
metaphor, guys. Anyway,
If you say
My-
so.
tragic maker for this film
Oh yeah.
was how okay. Fester's night. What?
Are you trying to make
Naivete?
sense of this movie? Go ahead.
sounds
Try
like
it.
it is.
Fester's naivete
Try it.
with Debbie.
Okay.
So he had gone through this whole episode with his quote unquote mom in the first movie as she's trying to fraud the Addams. So he sort of has a criminal element to him. I feel like he would know what to look for in someone that's a fraud. And then he totally that just goes out the window. It's like his mind's been erased. He doesn't know anything about that when it comes to Debbie. And I feel like the way he's just so smitten with her that I feel like he throws everything out the window, no logic, and I don't like that about him, I suppose.
You know
It just
who
seems
else
really-
threw logic out the window when it came
Think.
to women?
Oh.
Samson.
Yeah.
All right.
So his weakness is women.
And if you're someone like Fester who envies his younger brother Gomez and wants a relationship like Gomez has with Morticia, and he is so lonely and so desperate that he's just got all logic is going to get thrown out the window. So, I
Yeah.
can understand where you're coming from. His loneliness, his desire to be with someone is going to overcome any knowledge that pre-exists.
That's his Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Now,
Or is Samson's
Desperation.
hair.
yeah,
Desperation.
that's it.
All right. I see how
So it
that.
makes
Yeah,
sense to
definitely
me.
people can be so stuck in their emotions that they just
Yeah.
they go by that as
Yeah.
their
Just a fool
North
in love.
Star. I feel like there needed to be something to
That
have.
sets that up.
Well, to have set that up, I mean, they were trying to set that up that he wished, like Ashley was just saying, he wishes like he could be like Gomez. He says to like Gomez, I wish I had something like you and Morticia have, or something like that. But just to sort of disconnect that, he had forgotten about being frauding people with his mom and all that. I don't know how he would do that, but
Yeah. Talk to
anyway,
the
that
writers.
was my get on the phone here.
Yeah.
That was my tragic maker. Let's go to Drake. What was one more thing you hated about this film?
Oh, that part where the computer called them moles.
That's not this movie.
But it did happen. He can dislike it if he wants to.
I thought that was cool.
I-
Call them moles. But okay.
We're referencing last week's or last time's
I had
episode.
I have to reference the
guys.
last episode that was for Bobo because I like that movie a lot too. So if I'd been
That's
on that one, we
great.
would have split decision on that.
Yeah, probably.
But no, I got one. It's kind of a small thing.
Yeah,
I
small
had-
thing.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. Dang it.
Well, while you're trying to remember, we can go to.
I was gonna
you got
say,
it. Okay.
I didn't like and this is actually back when I first saw it.
Mm.
I didn't like that they made Joan Cusack the villain
Oh,
Yeah.
because I was a big fan of hers.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I like
very
that.
rare for her to play
Oh,
the villains. She
I didn't
plays
like-
a good,
I
good
actually-
girl.
Yeah, I loved her in Toys.
Oh yeah.
is that the Robin
She's-
Williams movie?
Yeah, the Robin
Yes.
Williams movie where and she
Oh, I
was
thought
a
you were
doll.
talking about Toy Story, where she's playing
No,
Jessie.
Toys.
Jessie.
Yeah.
Where she had she was
toys. That movie. Yeah.
yeah, where she had she was she had the paper doll clothes.
Oh, please
Yeah,
don't
the-
have us review that movie. I hate.
Not
No.
the greatest movie. No.
No.
Yeah, I hate it when the commandos were after the Gorgons or whatever, the little alien
The small
guys.
soul-
Pretty sure
Soldiers?
that's Small Soldiers.
Oh,
I've seen that movie. Toys, I
My-
have not.
my mistake. I'm not at all making a joke. I clearly am confused.
Obviously.
All right.
I've seen Toys twice. You know, it's all right.
Okay, well, let's get off the toys train. Get back to Addams Family Values. Paul,
Oh.
take us home with the thing you just like the most.
All right. For my tragic maker, it is the. A lot of this movie is just so over the top, and you get this right from the beginning with the big fake moon that Fester's howling in
Oh my
front.
gosh, yeah, that moon. Oh my gosh. So big. Moons
Yeah.
are that big.
You
Just-
totally commented that when we were watching it. Stop it!
Just like Quigley Down Under, but even more so.
Yes.
But it's obvious it's so big, it's so fake. It totally sets the tone for like, okay, this is going to be fake and over the top for the rest of the movie. And it's so over the top that it pulls me out, and all the logic and some of the humor and some of the way things go. It's not like there are movies like darn it, I forgot that other. It's the John Cusack movie about
High
dead.
Fidelity.
No, it's about him being
Better
better
Off
off
Dead?
dead. Yes, right. But there are movies that are specifically over the top, and in my opinion, it makes it better. This, I think, it's so far out of reality that it makes it even worse. So it's a lot of the things I dislike about this movie. There's a lot of little ones. It's all because it's too over the top. It just needs to settle it down. If they had toned it down and took it a little more realistically or a little more seriously, then I would take this movie more seriously and probably enjoy it a little more.
I think that's one of the reasons I liked Wednesday's character so much, because she was more understated, more dry.
Right.
And as opposed to...
And it's
the
a
things that
subtle
were
when
over the
she
top.
makes things like, a bigger smile. It means more.
Yes, yes, exactly. Right. Awesome, guys. Well, now that we've entered all our trajectories...
You didn't get my tragic maker.
What?
Wah, wah, wah.
Nope.
Dang it.
Edna mode,
Edna
take
mode.
3.
Yeah. Can I do that? So I'll probably put this in, since I said to Paul, take us home. I'll probably put
Take
yours
us
before
home,
Paul's,
country
Ashley.
road.
So keep that in mind, guys, that we won't have heard of Paul's when we're hearing Ashley.
Yeah, like Paul was just saying. I didn't say that yet.
Right. Like Paul is about to say.
Yes. Yeah, we do, because we're time travelers.
We have a time machine, yes.
Okay, end of Edna mode. So I have a feeling that Edna mode. This is the end of Edna mode. Ashley, what's your tragic maker for Addams Family Values?
Okay, my tragic maker is just how everything was so convenient, that the baby in the film was just so contrived and conveniently there again and again and again.
Oh yeah,
To save the day.
That's one thing that the baby did, but the baby just being so convenient to instill sibling rivalry, to set up the nanny, to have the opportunity for Debbie to come into the picture, to have Debbie just be so focused on the baby and notice that the kids are like so focused on trying to like harm the baby, kill the baby, and be like, okay. And now I'm noticing that the kids, Wednesday is smart enough and she's kind of figuring out what's going on with me. So I've got to focus on the baby. So the kids got to go to summer camp. And then somehow the baby ends up saving them all. And it's just too convenient that the baby creates all the problems and yet is the cause of and solution to all of the Addams family problems. It's just too much for me.
Yeah, I get that.
And it is, and especially the scene towards the end where Pubert is getting like launched up in the air, goes down the banister, goes up, and you see them in the window of the airplane where Amanda and her family are sitting. It's just zany and
got
a
the
little
biggest laugh out loud for me on that.
I
it's
laughed
over the
at that
top.
too. I
Yes,
enjoyed that.
but yeah.
I mean,
It
it
was so contrived for sure.
It was contrived, and everything was just a little too convenient. It's like, oh, what can we do? Oh, Debbie didn't realize that the baby wasn't here, so the baby could be the one to save them all. It was the baby.
Yeah.
How convenient.
You hate babies.
I don't hate babies. The baby was adorable. Like, the makeup was great, and that was such a happy baby. Like, they were fun to watch because they gave such a great performance, but it was just a little too contrived for me.
Yeah,
I want to know how the baby learned to crawl like a robot, though.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I mean, I feel like a movie like Incredibles 2 did it better. Like, Jack was a key to that was a big part of that movie.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like everything seemed to hinge like he caused all the problems, and then he was the solution. At least I don't remember it that way. I've only seen
But
Incredibles 2
even
once.
if it is, what's wrong with that? I don't understand, but that's okay. I understand the baby and the use of it is way over the top. A little hint there. But anyway.
You know what? I think, Paul, you're going to expand on this. So why don't you do that right now? Take us home with your tragic maker.
Edna mode.
No, well, yes, I'm going to. Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys. So we did Paul's. I like how you hinted at that, Paul. Now I'll do. And Drake, did you get to finish your classic maker, or did I cut you off in the middle of it?
Tragic.
Trying to. I know you started it, but did I cut you off?
He tuned you out. Sorry.
Hey, Francisco. Tragic and classic, they sound the same, but they're not. What section are we in?
We're in the tragics. Tragic maker.
Classic maker.
Oh my gosh, Paul. So do you feel like you finished yours, Drake, or no?
I think I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
All right.
Don't ask me what it was. I was tuning out too.
End of Edna mode. Wow.
Good job.
All right, guys. Now that we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer, Alice, do you have a firing solution for us?
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
All right, time for the moment of truth. Do we rate Addams Family Values a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic, if you remember seeing it as a kid or young adult and enjoyed it, then definitely worth checking out again. But if you've never seen it before, pass on this one. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's not worth anyone's time today. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before, don't sully any good memories you have of it with a rewatch. And let's start with our guests. Ashley, what is your final reign for Addams Family Values? You had predicted nostalgic. Where did it end up?
Still a nostalgic for me.
Still nostalgic. All right.
It held up, and the memories sometimes are a little bit better than the reality of watching this movie. But even though there were things I didn't like that felt contrived and a little over the top, it still holds a special place in my heart, and I still smile rewatching it time after time.
Okay. Very nice. Drake, you also had predicted nostalgic. What is your final rating for Addams Family Values?
I'm going to go with classic.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Classic. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
It's
Yeah,
like a baby landed on the board that's springed up your rating.
Yeah, launched in.
Yeah, I watched it and I was really surprised at how funny it was. The whole thing.
Okay,
Just-
yeah. That's awesome.
I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed it more than when I rewatched the original. So
Nice.
Very, very cool. All right. Paul, you also, because you were trying to be part of the cool crowd.
Yeah.
Predicted nostalgic. Where did it end up for you?
Well, I'm going to use my Tom Salvo authority and go against the cool crowd and say that this movie, is a tragic for me.
Whoa.
I did not enjoy this film as much as I enjoyed the first one. In fact, I had forgotten why I had forgotten that the only reason why I have this film is because I'm a completionist and I wanted the first, and I had the first one, so I got to get the second one. Never intending to rewatch it, and then I come on this podcast, I rewatch it, and I'm like, dang it, I fell into the trap. But I cannot No, there is no third one, unless you count the reunion. That doesn't count because that was like a TV movie.
It doesn't count. It was made for TV,
fine,
and Daryl Hannah is not Morticia. Sorry. No.
But what was I saying? Tragic.
Why, it's a
Sorry.
tragic.
I would not personally recommend this movie. They say, hey, should I watch this? I would say no. Watch the first one. And I mean, now if you enjoyed the second one, you might like Drake and Ashley, you might enjoy a rewatch. But I personally cannot give my recommendation for it. So I'm going to say tragic.
Gotcha. I am sort of in a pickle with this one, guys.
Ew, get out of that sour juice.
Wow. It's brine, Paul.
Brian.
Because I thought this movie was just fine. It was fine. There were certainly funny parts to it that I did laugh for parts. But is it a movie that I'd go back and see again? I probably wouldn't. I think that if this is your humor, you might. And if you did enjoy it, I could see you going back to it. But would I go back to it and rewatch it again? I wouldn't of my own volition. I think I would if, like, say Ashley wanted to watch it. I'm sure I would watch it with her.
I watch it every year.
What?
Yep.
Stuck.
When you said I do, you didn't know you were saying I do to the Addams Family values, did you?
Twix.
Twix, exactly.
And all your children's names must end in son.
Oh my gosh. What?
I don't know if you've gotten to that part yet. It's Breath of the Wild.
No, I haven't. I
Okay.
haven't. I thought you were referencing something in this movie. I'm like,
No.
Okay.
There's a scene. It's when they get married, and I'm not going to say anymore, but
I'll see. Eventually.
yeah.
Someday.
Do the Terrytown thing. Do the
Okay.
Terrytown.
I haven't played Breath of the Wild in forever. Anyway, I'm sort of like, I appreciate the vampy as I'm trying to figure out, when am I finally going to rate this? I think I'm going to have to, because I do try to endeavor to just keep with how I feel about these movies, not how I think the masses feel about this movies. I'm going to have to rate this a tragic because it's just not something that, like I said, I would watch again. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't like the worst tragic ever. One that I'd be like, no, I've never seen this.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes, not nearly like that unmovie. But so for me, I'd rate Addams Family Values a tragic. And I've never really cared for Addams Family all that much. They've never really done it for me.
You're just poo-pooing on the whole franchise now.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you say they're over the top, Paul. I never really got their backwardsness isn't consistent. This was a thing just like I had in the first movie. It's like, if you're going to have everything flipped, then say, oh, I hate you so much. Or, oh, you should just die when you say, I'm so glad you're alive. Everything should be flipped. Be consistent. But it's not.
When Gomez and Morticia are miserable, like they're sad and crying out, but when the baby's miserable, he's happy and blonde hair.
Yeah, what's that about?
Right.
So, okay. Anyway, so according to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate Addams Family Values a highly disputed tragic film. We don't recommend seeing this, whether or not you've seen it before. Wah, 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 wah. But now it's time to get back to our own time, good old 20XX.
20XX?
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1993 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keene, Patrick Hicks. Dang it, I totally got confused.
You got this. Don't worry about the Edna mode. What is
Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keene, Patrick Hicks, Chris Cowan, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Caniston, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz. Oh, you're right here.
Woohoo.
Pastor Dewson, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku, That's Our Babu, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten. Oh, you're right here too. Andy Lewis, Jeff, The Dapper Man Reviews, Tony from the Retro Days, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Rosie, in addition to 7 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help keep us flying for as low as $1 a month and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
This stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
Hey, you were expecting maybe the Addams Family?
All right. We also want to thank our supporters, and not only our supporters, but also our wonderful, creepy guests who came out to lend us their thoughts with Drake Tungsten and Ashley Ruiz. Thank you for supporting us with your thoughts on the Addams Family Values tonight. And I'd like to go in alphabetical order, so we'll start with Ashley. What's going on with you, and then how can people find you online if they want to stalk you? I mean, find you.
Wow.
Stalk me? Oh no. Well, recently I had a name change, so you can now find me at Ashley Ruiz 1186, no longer APK. kind of got married about a month ago. So yeah, Ashley Ruiz 1186 to find all things about pop culture and being a Christ follower and all the things. So you'll find just the highway between both of those and my weird rants. Probably even about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, from time to time. Yeah.
Whoa.
Weird.
Very nice.
All right. And Drake Tungsten, where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on?
Not much since last time, but you can still find me at assend.net, where I have been doing a review of Deep Space Nine, but I need to get back to that. So
yeah, the Delta Quadrant will take over if you're not watching.
yeah, I've gotten through the first season and parted about halfway through, maybe the first chunk of the second season. So
nice.
Hopefully I'll get back to that soon.
Very cool.
But you can catch up on it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Drake and Ashley, and my awesome, valued friend Paul, and all you rewinders, new and old, for another fun voyage.
You're welcome. And you can find me, pauljpowers.com, at pauljpowers.com.
Whoa, I can't believe that's your web address. You can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Nathan, are you hiding in the walls? Where is that coming from? Anyway, as Nathan just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media. And with that, Captain, we are a final approach to base. Hopefully the macabre creepiness hasn't taken over.
Thank you, XO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful now than when you first hit play. Dang it! Edna mode. I messed that up because I still haven't fixed the... I've just been going off autopilot, just fixing it in my head.
Edna
the actual
mode.
Script. Plus, I also want to double check. Is it Atlantis next? Yes, it is Atlantis. Okay. Thank you, XO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for our next episode, Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Yes, a Disney film. Our next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Not Disney!
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
I'll never forget you.
You won't?
You're too weird.
If only it was just a snap too late.
Well, I could compress that.
Yes. See that you do.
See. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Any of you have to get water or use the restroom before we start spiritual speculation?
Okay.
Which I came up with another one, which you
Very
sort of were
good.
into there for a second, Paul.
I might actually have to duck out.
I have nothing.
Oh, you need a duck out, right?
No. No,
yeah,
that's not true.
I
You lack
think
discipline.
the little one needs some attention.
Okay, I totally
Okay.
get that. Totally get that.
Yeah.
I'd like to pray over you real quick, Drake.
Sure.
Lord God, thank you so much for Drake being here tonight. I pray you help him as he parents Kid Tungsten, and just continue to help them in their relationship as father and son. And thank you for that relationship. Please continue to be with them both, helping them through these tough times that we experience as parents. And I pray protection and provision over him, and look forward to the next time he can be back on the podcast with us. Amen. Thanks for being with us, Drake.
So what's your spiritual speculation? Maybe we could still talk about it if you...
Oh, yeah.
Well, the one I had was I was thinking about it gets, like how, and I think we kind of touched on this last time too, but it gets a little bit on the macabre, and it's like, I kind of like, I don't know. I don't like the feeling that I'm like delighting in deviltry, so to speak.
Ah, okay.
All right.
Um,
I can riff off that.
yeah.
Awesome.
All right. I'll see
Yeah.
you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you for
Thank you,
joining us
Drake.
tonight.
All right. Bye.
Bye. And
Okay,
then
got
there were 3. Wait, not yet.
Not
He's
yet.
still here.
He's still.
Nope.
Oh, he's gone.
Alas, now he be
Wah,
gone.
wah, wah, wah.
Stuck with me, guys.
You're like
No,
I said, you're
also
one of the
good.
cool kids. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm one of the cool kids. I want to be a cool kid too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing black and I have braids. I am clearly not one of you.
That's
Okay. Doc K has left us. Yes, yes.
poor Doc K.
Yes, poor Doc K.
me
All
too,
right.
poor Doc K.
So, thumbs up if you guys are ready for spiritual speculation.
Let's push through.
Let's do it.
Well, I'm waiting for
want it.
thumbs up.
Fine. Give a thumbs up.
I'm trying to find braids. There we go. And it has the fake mustache.
That's like the Hasidic
Wow.
Jew look. That is not
Yeah.
braids. They have curls.
The youngest one in curls.
They even like had that clip from the Brady Bunch. They played the theme song. Francisco, never again. No.
That's the one.
I just put in braids, Paul, and it got it.
Yeah.
We're really looking for braids.
You're
No,
just
I'm
mad
looking-
that you can't have hair like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a mustache, but there we go. That doesn't look
Mad
sinister like
that I
this. Like
can't.
it's a little. There we go.
Oh,
What the heck?
those are braids.
The wrong kind of braids, but okay.
Wow, they're coming around my head right here.
Oh my word, y'all.
All
Heads
right.
down, thumbs up. Yes, we're gonna play heads up, 7 up. Star Fox, exactly.
Okay.
All right. Exactly. All right. Welcome, Reflexipastors, to another edition of Spiritual Speculation. I was going to say Saturday Kid Adventures, but that's not this. Spiritual Speculation, where we take where we talk about the promptings and questions that the movies we watch on the podcast prompt us to think about. Tonight we're going to be talking about the spiritual elements of Addams Family Values, which you can listen to our review of that at retrorewindpodcast.com/260. But before we get into our spiritual speculation about it, let's go around real quick and say who we are, what our faith life was like growing up, and what we currently believe today. So I am Francisco. I was raised Presbyterian and currently a non-denominational Protestant Christian. Yes, I know it is a denomination, non-denominational. Send your hate mail to policypowers.com.
I don't think so.
Ashley, how about you?
My name is Ashley. I was raised Catholic, and I am currently a non-denominational Protestant Christian. I can't speak.
And Paul.
I grew up so lonely and desperate for companionship that I was willing to marry psycho killers who were apparently acquitted but still wanted by the authorities for some reason. But then I saw the light and I started following Jesus, and now I'm following him. Yeah.
That's amazing. What a come to Jesus story, Paul, that you have.
Yeah.
It
Well,
seems
it
to
took me long
change
enough.
each time, though.
Well, you know, it depends
I'm trying
on the
to wonder
episode.
if these are authentic.
Yeah.
Jesus is always at the center.
Jesus is authentic. I'm not. Don't follow me. Follow Jesus. Unless you go to politipowers.com, you can follow me there.
So Drake wasn't able to join us for this one.
Sorry,
but
Drake.
he had one that I'm going to let you take, Paul, to
Yeah.
open this up with.
And I thought this was good. The Addams Family Values and even the first movie, they central a lot of focus on the dark things, the macabre, and some of that is not good, but it puts it in a quote unquote good light. Like you're supposed to like these things that you're not normally liking. And I understand what he means, and I feel the same way, but it reminds me of what I call the whatever verse, Bible verse, and that's Philippians 4:8. And the NIV says, talking to brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, and whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So it's kind of like keeping our eyes heavenly focused and not wanting to go into like the torture loving it of it all, like the Addams family want to go in.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's where I serve.
But I like worshiping the devil. No, what were you going to go?
Wow.
I'm not saying that was you, but just in case.
Sure you weren't.
Well,
I know what you were saying, Paul.
Yeah, send all your complaints to pauljpowers.com.
Exactly. I think there's an element to when we tend to, some types of comedy are those things that are uncomfortable, and to have them shown or made fun of on screen, that's why, because they are uncomfortable and because sometimes we think about these things. Like, for instance, I think a lot of people have had this feeling. If they're at the edge of something high, they will think like, what would it be like if I just stepped off and plummeted to my death? I imagine that. Okay, fine. Maybe I'm the only one, guys. You're just looking at me blank stares over here.
Do you need to go skydiving?
Oh my gosh.
I can take you off to Cedar Point and you can go on Valraven. It's a drop coaster. They actually hang you over the edge for a few seconds before they have you go down.
That sounds amazing. All I'm trying to say is,
and then you'll know what it's like to hang over the edge, because then you'll go off the edge
and fall to your death.
Maybe
safely.
not, but
I'm pretty sure I'm not the.
And they do it again. So if you wondered what it was like the first time, prepare to do it again.
You guys aren't helping me make my point.
Oh, what's your point?
That there are elements of the macabre already with us, and to see them on screen in this way, I think helps us. The reason they're comical is because they're things that a lot of people may have thought of at some point, not necessarily the same way, but
making light of things that are dark, Francisco, like kind of just like lightening them up and kind of poking fun at them just so they're less scary,
not so that they're less scary. I just think
it's okay to be electrocuted, kids. It's fun.
The reason they're funny is because they may be things that people have sort of thought of, and then they'd never go through with whatever it is, wherever the craziness is. Like, I'd be curious if my baby could go down a banister. I don't know. This is not some people like.
I'd be curious what the purge would be like. Looks like fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's find out what happens to a body when it holds onto an electrocuted lever as they disintegrate into ash. And another thing, will people be scared of going through a graveyard and expressing sympathy for the dead, and then a hand will grab them?
Or dig them up.
Well, but people are scared of graveyards. I don't know why, but people are scared of graveyards because of things like that. They sort of have these images of like, what if zombies did come back or something like that. So,
but luckily for us, there are no zombies. They're all pieces of fiction. Heaven help us if ever there are zombies.
I read this one book about zombies coming back.
Zombies coming back? You mean like
where did they go? On vacation?
Oh my gosh. So here's I feel like I've been monologuing. What do you guys think about it? Then
about what exactly?
Your question about making light of the macabre or laughing at the macabre.
I mean, it has its time and place, but not. I think if you're putting the spotlight where it's like, hey, I want to, try to kill my brother for fun. That's a little. That's like, maybe
like too dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like even think back to where they were trying to kill the baby, and then the family confronts them. And do you think now that there's a new baby,
why are they confronting killing the baby while Pugsley and Wednesday are trying to kill each other every week?
Yeah, but then they're also, it's like, do you think that now that there's a new baby that one of you has to die, and they say yes, and then that one of you needs to die, and then the grandmama interjects is like, well, not anymore, which implies that in families,
not Chinese.
Which implied in families, like if they had more than one or two or more of the same gender, that they would kill them, and that is definitely murder. Is not something like child genocide, like infanticide, is not something that you want to be poking light of and being and stay focused on those things. So they definitely make light of that in that dialogue, but I definitely agree that that verse that Paul throws out, like, you do want to be having focused and not be focused on those things. And yes, you can poke fun at them, but they should be things that are done lightheartedly, and they should happen. They shouldn't be your main focus. You shouldn't like have them continuously happen over and over and over again.
I think this is trying to make things lighthearted. I don't really the jokes about those were probably the things I disliked the most was the humor between Pugsley and Wednesday killing each other, even in the first one, and then this one them trying to kill the baby. I just did not understand that, and I think that's
then putting the owners of the camp on a spit, tied up, and roasting them alive.
That was actually pretty funny.
Well, okay. Murder can be funny if it's done the appropriate way.
Yeah, exactly. On a spit. Yeah. Everyone has a laugh.
That's hilarious. Being electrocuted to dust, not so funny.
Honestly,
because then you have to sweep it up.
Yeah.
It's messy.
When I saw that part, all I could think of was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. I thought that too.
Force lightning?
No, not Force lightning, just because the Ewoks were putting them on spits
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just got Return of the Jedi kick. Anyway, so I agree that there's certainly. I think everyone has their limit and find different things funny. That's why their humor is not a formula. There is certainly an art to it, and there were things in this film, and it's subjective. There were things in this film I thought were funny, other things that were not funny. But yeah, it's when you're even if let's say this whole movie was funny to you, to dwell on those things, and just watch these movies all the time, say like once every year.
Wow. No, but I know what you mean. It's like it's not just like an annual tradition of watching it. That's fine. You enjoy the humor.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you're like thinking, oh, this is kind of cool, I want to be like the cool kids and roast my counselors over a fire pit, like actually taking that seriously, and maybe that's cool. Like that's
or I'll say it's similar to how if you were the type of person like Skid in Toy Story.
Scud is the name of the dog.
Of his dog.
Sid is the name of the guy.
Sid
is the kid.
He's just crazily delighting in destruction. I think that's when I would be like, you're dwelling on death and pain way too much and gain enjoyment out of it. That's like a sadism almost. That's where I feel like it's like
there are some elements with this family where it is like that, because you even think of like early in the movie where Morticia is actually with Gomez and she goes, I want to have it all. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. And then she says she wishes she had time to join the dark forces and engage in their hellish crusades. And like lines like that make you wonder, okay, most of the stuff is like it's poking at it and it doesn't really stay focused on anything dark, but it's like, okay, lines like that make me seriously question, like, are you channeling the devil? Like, what is going on when you say things like that?
And how the ultimate sacrifice a goat? I mean, surely you could think bigger than a goat.
Wow.
Don't understand.
I'm trying. I can never tell with the Addams family property what they're being serious about and what they're just being silly about, and that's hard. I don't like that I can't distinguish that.
Yeah, I think that might be part of its thing on purpose, is to blur that line.
Yeah,
to blur that line so you don't know what's serious and you don't know. But the things that we should be serious about goes back to Paul's point on keeping our focus heavenward and be serious about that and not take other things as seriously.
So would you say this movie is extremely dangerous? Keep out of reach of children.
I mean, based on your rating, I would say that. And it is PG-13, so parents strongly caution no one under 13. And I definitely would not share this with any children.
Even society says this movie isn't for kids.
And I would say that especially as someone who saw it as a child, like, it can be influential. It can make you think
Yeah.
silly little things. And I think it goes to me where I'm thinking, okay, like focus your things on heaven, but at the same time, because of Christ, all things are permissible. So some of the crazy things that they're doing are permissible, but they're not beneficial. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I'll also put this forward that I think that is a popular line to that people that have are too black. So the line, I should say, the Bible verse you shared, Paul, the Philippians one.
Yes.
About keep whatever is
Philippians 4:8. Whatever.
Philippians 4:8.
Yes.
I think people can be too black and white at that because if you're
why you gotta be
holding
a
fast
killer?
to, oh my gosh, if you're like so intent on that, if you were to take a step back, you could say, well, there's lots of elements in the Bible that are very dark and disturbing. And so it's like you can't, but those things
can't
are
read
so
the
good for
Bible. It's
teaching
too dark and disturbing.
and reproof and bringing people up. So I'm just trying to say you can't
Murder, cultish, idol worship, all sorts of
sacrificing the
Crusades,
children, dogs and cats living
dark
together.
forces.
what I'm trying to say with that is there's a tension that you do have. You can't just say, where is these? Only focus on these, because sometimes I think you need to see both sides so that you can recognize what is good, what is just, all those things. I don't know.
Have a
and
complete
that's not
picture.
me saying. What was that, Ashley?
Have a complete picture
Have a complete picture.
instead of it just be one-sided.
Yeah, because otherwise you may not know
So-
when something is too dark or what have you.
Worship God in the daylight and dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yeah, exactly, Paul. Just like the Joker. You got it.
All right.
My gosh.
No. Will not be doing that. Thank you.
He's referencing Batman 19.
No, I know. I
Balance
know.
everything, you know.
Oh, I know, but I will not be doing that.
Oh, good. I hope not.
They
Because
say
that
the
was a
devil is
joke.
in the details, and I don't want him anywhere nearby because he's the enemy. And spiritual warfare is real. He can't be in our details, dang it.
Yeah,
God
never
is
focus
definitely
on the
in
details. It's
Yeah,
always
because
the
that's
general.
where the devil is.
Yeah. Focus on the general. My general is Jesus.
General Jesus.
Yes.
Wow, this is going off the rails. Off the rails.
Well, I hope you were
fast.
buckled up, El Capitan.
I tried to be.
We're going for
Christ
a ride.
is our lifesaver, so.
Hold on to your potatoes.
Wow. So let's go to the next topic. And this is one that actually came to mind just as we were talking and reviewing the movie. And I think this will be a pretty quick one. I don't know, we may go further in it, but it is very speculative. Actually, you were talking about how Debbie becomes dust, and then we were making fun that, well, what if she gave her life to Christ as she was doing that? So my question to you is, and to you guys, is if you're cremated, can you still have a glorified body in heaven?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, because if you gave
why'd
your
you
life.
say that, though? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, because this person who was cremated, well, they may no longer have a tangible human form. Christ remakes our bodies once we're in heaven with him. We're given new bodies, new glorified bodies. So you would think that people who were born without certain fingers or digits, people who had things amputated, that they would have a brand new body. People who experience varying degrees of paralysis in their lives when they were alive,
How are we supposed to
they would be
recognize
this
them, then?
new, beautiful creation, because he is creating new creations of all of us in these glorified bodies. So yes, he can recreate that. So if you want to speculate that, yes, Debbie in all of her deplorableness gave her life to Christ as she was being fried alive, that she could be remade and have a glorified body in heaven, provided that she gave her life to Christ. So yes, I firmly believe if you were cremated and you were a believer and Jesus knew you, that once all are called to be with him, we will have glorified bodies, and he will remake us all.
What do you
All
think,
right.
Paul?
Well, regardless of what your body is here on Earth, full or not fully detached or attached, from your limbs and severed arms or burnt or whatever.
Maybe you only have one eye.
Yeah, or if you're just like a brain thinking in a glass tube, whatever.
A floating head.
Or your lungs. We talked about this. That's another spiritual speculation.
Yes.
when you die, you will be given a new body, as the Bible says in 2 Corinthians. So it's a new heavenly body. So regardless of what your body is here on earth, no matter how pumped and jacked up you are, you're going to have a completely different body in heaven.
So do you think like bodybuilders won't like how much? Okay, well there's a question branching off this. How much do you think you'll look like you when you're in your heavenly body? Whether that's
I think will look like, but there's a lot of people that look like me. Like my dad. People say my dad looks like me.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
So I think when we get to heaven, and all the however many lots of people that are there, I think we'll have name tags to tell each other apart.
But won't we just recognize one another even if we don't look
like an
like
ESP
one another?
kind of thing. Yeah, I recognize.
Somehow, because we're all part of God's family and we're all in heaven together. Yeah. Somehow through the Lord, we will just know one another, even if we don't.
I recognize your heavenly DNA and your new body. I know who you are.
Your heavenly DNA, and they won't be like, wait, Francisco?
Wait.
Is that you?
Or is that your brother?
Oh, is that you? Is that your brother? Is that your other brother? Or is that your other? It's one of the Ruises. Which one is it? Ah!
I see what you did there. Okay, so you think there will be a resemblance of your current form, but there's certainly it's going to be certainly more amplified and glorified than it is here. All right, awesome guys. I sort of fall in line with what you guys are thinking there as well. Then the spiritual speculation I had prepared is having to do with marriage. Marriage.
What brings us here today?
Exactly.
Again?
So I'm going to read from Ephesians 5.
But you have to read it like the priest and Princess Bride.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Do it.
For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This mystery is profound, but I am speaking about Christ and the church. Nevertheless, each one of you also must love his wife as he loved himself, and the wife must respect her husband.
I'm sorry, I stopped paying attention.
What? Oh my gosh!
About halfway through.
I get it. So, are you gonna allude to something about Debbie being completely disrespectful to her husband?
No,
and
actually,
clearly,
I wasn't gonna go there. So I'm going with the first part of that, 31. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So I'm curious. Mystery. Do you think? I guess here's my question: at what point would it have been okay for Fester to have left Debbie? Because I felt
I thought you were saying at what point is actually Debbie correct, because they did leave the family to become husband and wife.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
So I feel like exactly.
They even honored that first part because she did give an ultimatum. She's like, if I give myself to you, you're never going to see your family again, because she took that to the extreme.
She did.
Well, that is an extreme ultimatum. I don't see a non-extreme version of that.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you guys? I almost feel like that's a fair, it's a fair request though, because in totality, this says leaving your father and mother.
It's one thing to leave your father and mother, like you no longer live with them. It's another thing to never see your family again.
Yeah, and for your partner to basically tell you, well, if you're going to be with me, we're going to forsake your family. You're not to speak with them ever again. Yes. And I think if I were to be given that kind of ultimatum, we would have a problem.
Yes. Wait, you didn't get that memo? I kid, people.
Well, it actually goes against, like in 1 Timothy 5:8, it says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives and their family, especially their own household, has denied the faith and is far worse than an unbeliever. There, like you said before, there's a balance. You still have to be, with your family, taking care of them.
There's still still a separation and a distinction, and you have to leave the family estate to create a family of your own, to follow that commandment of God, for the man and the husband and wife to become one flesh. But at the same time, Paul makes an equally good point where it also tells for you to take care of your family.
Right.
And even though you might not be living on the same estate or in the same haunted manor, you still want to provide for one another and take care of each other, because family is important.
And I think this is almost saying priorities, though.
Bentley agrees.
Your spouse, your wife or your husband, is more important than your parents. They should have a higher priority, but your relatives and your clan, let's say, are also
your kin,
important.
your kinfolk.
Your kin, exactly, are important. It's not just to disregard them. Okay, so I think that that answers that question. That Debbie was certainly not on the right to ask that. I think Fester was in the right to stay with Debbie, but do you think there is a point? Like, I feel like there is a point, certainly with abuse, and she's trying to kill him, that you have to get away. You can't just stay in that situation.
Yeah, but the fact that he stayed despite all of that, like, he definitely didn't want to be alone again.
I don't
So
want
it's
to be
like,
lonely.
I mean, it's like I'm being berated by my wife, but that's still better than being by myself. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then it's better to be on a rooftop, raining rooftop, than with a quarrelsome wife. So there's
Proverbs.
Yeah. And he was howling at that oversized moon, but was that a better life for him than marriage and being abused mentally and emotionally?
No.
And
certainly God would be a better life for him, but
yes.
I was going to ask a question, and now let's see if I think I forgot.
Was that the same howl when Doc saw Marty alive again? No, I just sent you back to the future.
I don't think so, Paul.
I don't think so.
Word.
Anyway.
Let's see. Paladin says, I think Fester thought Debbie was being a typical Addams. Yeah, that's what it certainly seemed like she was. Yeah. She faked it very impressively, I would say. Yeah.
But she was much sweeter. She did her research, but she was like so much sweeter. And even the way that she talked was not fully like an Addams. So he just liked the attention. He didn't really care. I mean, any kind of attention to him at that point was just like, I'm lonely. Mm-hmm. I envy my brother and sister-in-law. I would do anything to have that dynamic and have that life.
So, okay, then serious question, guys. Is Fester like just invulnerable? How can he not die? I don't get it. Because
bulletproof.
He like lives through explosions.
So is the baby. I mean, he's able to like catch a blade between the.
Okay, so are all the Addams pretty much impervious?
No, I think it's convenient to the plot.
Yeah.
Contrived, you might say.
It is contrived. It totally and utterly contrived. So, like, she drops the boombox plugged in speaker into the bathtub, and then he's got the light bulb. He's like,
that's a good callback to the.
That's excellent. And I'll also say that's excellent foreshadowing of how she's gonna die. Yeah. That's the first attempt. His first death attempt. Her first murder attempt is electrocution, and that's just hysterical. That's the way she goes.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I like that. I totally didn't pick up on that. I guess you pick up on those things when you watch it every year.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh, don't worry. Those are going to be movies you're watching every year too, Ashley. Oh.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. What? Awesome, guys. Well, there's nothing else I had unless any other spiritual speculations came to mind for you or anything. No one ever gets injured.
Nothing.
Apparently not Paladin.
Nothing.
Oh my word.
Read what Sean said.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to. Neko says the Addams have a magical spell called Plot Armor. Yes,
exactly. They do.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for giving your thoughts to this. Thank you so much to all our Reflex ambassadors, our patrons, for supporting this content. And for me, for Ashley, and for Paul, we bid you all shalom.
That means peace.
Wow.
Da-da-da-da.
Wow. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who watched. Hopefully you have a fantastic a rest of your Friday night or Saturday morning if you're awake that late. We will be back tomorrow morning for the start of Secret of Mana. We'll start that for SNES Quest tomorrow. And then,
Is that the mana from heaven?
I'm sure it is.
Different kind of mana, Paul. Spelled the same.
All right.
And then tomorrow night, the plan is for me to play Chrono Trigger. Oh my gosh, Paul. The plan is to play Chrono Trigger.
See, you couldn't help yourself. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah. Gotta support the team.
Oh my god.
Da-da-da-da.
Oh my word. Tomorrow night, I don't know why that would change, but sometimes those Saturday night streams just change. But thank you all. Wow, Paul. Thank you all so much for being here. And until next time, here is your stream face, guys. Yeah, I think it is going to be a great game, Sean. But see you in the morning.